Happy Monday and welcome. I'm just going to put some chapstick on. I find that helps with dry mouth. Today I'm going to do a video. I'm going to get right into it. I was asked by a dear friend, Angela, with Dogwood Paper Arts, to share how I made this. This is a larger size accordion booklet. And I got the idea from Gail Augustinelli, and it was in September of 2021 when I saw her video. I made my notes. So I will link her video in the description. Hers ended up being finished 4x6. This one I made 4x8, and I really like that size. It could be a tall skinny. I could make it larger, but I'll just share, and I'll just get right into it. The kit I'm going to use to make this is a new kit from my daughter Heather. I thought I had two here. Maybe I put them together. Oh, here it is. She has two new mushroom kits. So I'm going to use this journal kit to decorate my booklet, my accordion booklet. So this is the 16 pages. This is the cover sheet, which I will use this image right here. And my daughter's Etsy is WoodlandSilver, and it's over on Etsy. So here is the cover sheet. And then here's library pockets and cards, which are cool. I love those. I've just printed these on premium white paper. These are tabs and inserts. And then we have a bunch of pockets here where you could make a waterfall folio. And there's 2 pages here. And it shows a photograph on how to glue that. So I might have to attempt that. I don't know if I will be able to do it on this, but I'll try. So very cool. Love the images. I've never worked with black images. I did on this here, her rose kit. She had a beautiful rose image in the kit in black and white, and I love that. So it just adds a little bit of interest. And then, so this page here is cards, labels, tabs, tags, and tickets. Sorry, it's early morning and I am freezing. So I really like that. Yeah. And then we have some coin envelopes here. Beautiful. They print out really nice. I still haven't figured out my borderless. I'm still messing with the computer to figure it out. I know it's there somewhere. My daughter says it's there somewhere, but I can't find it. And then we have corner pockets and some fussy cut clip art. And then there are full pages here. So I'll be able to use those as well. Beautiful. I love the fern. And then we have some like ledger paper, which looks crinkled, and that's really cool and ripped. I like that. Same here, just lines paper that's crinkled up to look vintage and old. And then another image here. So you could use tall skinny, or the 6x9, 6x9? No, it wouldn't be 6x9. 6x8. so you could fold it either way. And then there's this image here. And then this one here, which is ledger. It has some handwriting on it. It's very cool. It's great for background. I didn't print any backgrounds on anything, so I think I'll be okay for today. But I usually like to print something on the back. Some more lines paper that is vintage and worn, folded. So that is the journal kit, which is 16 pages, including the cover page, which can be used. I will be using that. And then she has a smaller kit, mushroom, which is a file, folio, and ephemera. There's the cover, and you get 10 pages, including the cover. And then it has instructions on making the folio. Very pretty. And then there's this page here that shows you, it's got direction and folding. And then this page here, and they're all like part D, part C pockets, and there's instructions at the top. So these are cool. I'll probably back these to cardstock. And then this one here. So it has a good variety of different size pockets, and then you could add elements on top as well. So very cute. A whole page of mushroom images. Really pretty butterfly. Some fussy cuts. This is a beautiful page. This could be folded this way. I could use that for cover. I don't know, we'll see. I kind of had my heart set on using this image right here for this. And then we have more lines paper that is crinkled to look old. It's smooth, but... And then this full page here. And then more lines paper. Totally different than what I'm used to using, but I am totally challenging myself this year. So those are their two kits. This one is a folio and ephemera, and then this is a journal kit in mushroom. I'll put the links in the description, and I'm going to go ahead and get started because this might be like a two-part making this. I'll try to show everything that I can. Alright, so there's that. Just going to slide this back in here. And this one I did for my 50 stack challenge, Amy over at Crafty Cat. The prompt was Poppy, so really cute. I really enjoyed making that. Alright, so I'm going to go off of Gail's instructions, but I'm going to make it my own and make it a different size. And sorry, I have my squeaky chair back. I haven't decided on a office chair yet. It's so the decisions, and I don't like arms on my chair because I'll trip over it. I did pick out some colors to go with this because I'm thinking I want to use this image right here on the front. Let me see how big that is, because I only have 4 crossed. So I'll probably cut that down. All right. I wanted to go with green. So I've got this green, this green, and I'm not liking this with the flowers, so that's a no. And then, so it's down to this one and this one. And I think I want to go with the darker green. So I have two. I'm going to pull both sheets out in case I need it for the inside. I'm trying to think how many sheets you get. 3 sheets each. So I've already used this on something. Oh no, there is 3 there. So I'll pull all 3 sheets out. I don't think I'll need them. I think I'll just pull 2 out. And I love this paper pad. I got it 40% off at Hobby Lobby. There's 180 sheets, 3 each. It's great. And the paper is thin, so I think that's 2. I'm just going to take 2 out. And sorry for the squeaking every time I move. Alright, so 12 by 12 I start out with. And I'm going to need my scoreboard. And I'm going to score the, normally I would cut it to 6. So I would have 6 by 4 according to Gail's instructions, but I want to make it taller, so I'm going to score the whole thing, but I'm going to be mindful of the direction of the design on the paper, so I kind of want it like that. Alright. So I need my little score tool. And you score the back side first. This is how she did it. And score at 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oops. Then you're going to flip it over and score at 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, and 7.5. Yeah, I could have run this through my printer. I still could to put something on the back, and that's something I would recommend after you cut it down. So I'm going to cut this down at 8, because this other one here is 8 tall. I should have just left it out. I went with, yeah, 8, and I really like that size. So I'm going to cut this down to 8. But I'm going to reinforce the inside front and back so it'll be sturdy. So I'm going to cut this down. And I'm going to cut across my lines. So I'm going to cut it at 8. Alright, so there's that there. So that's our base. And this is how I like to fold it. If you start out the first one here and fold it on itself, you can kind of see the lines to keep it straight. This paper is really thin, so I will have to reinforce it. And then I just keep going like this. I can fold it back another way after I get all the lines in there. So I'm just going to keep going until I get all those folds in there. And I find doing it this way, see, my paper's thin, it's ripping. It ends up, the spine ends up being quite straight. So I did add lace to the cover of this one, and I did that after I got all my folds in. So I'm going to continue this way here. Got my last one here. Hopefully I got that straight. So this will be the cover here, and then you just do the accordion fold. I always add lace to the spine anyway, so I'm not too worried if it's not straight, but you kind of want it straight. And this is thin paper, so that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just gonna, right there, give it a press. So at this point here is where you would, and I'm just showing how I did mine. I would put my inside and decide my closure. So I'm just trying to think. I'm going to use this for the front here. So I want to cut this down. So I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to glue it to some cardstock. And my chair is driving me bonkers. Let me see if I can turn it around so I'm not squeaking. So I'm just going to cut this out right here because I want this on the front. So that's going to go on the front. So I'll go through my dies and pick a frame like I did here. It's just something I really like to do. On this one here, I put embossed paper on the inside. I'm not going to do that with this one on the front, and I did on the back as well. So I'll go through, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use the same paper on the inside. I might. I could do that. I think I will. So I just need 2 pieces of 4 by 8. So let me cut that now and get that glue and drying, because I want to sew all the way around. So I'm going to cut 8 this way, and then I need 2 4 pieces. I might have to get up and down to get a couple things. Okay, so this is going to go on the inside here. So I'm just going to glue those like that. And if I could go to my printer and print something on the back side here, so this is not white, but I'll probably use my vintage photo and just dress it up. So I'm going to glue these with my glue stick. Hey, where'd my glue stick go? I might have to order some more glue. Okay, not gonna work. That's not gonna. There we go. Hubby to the rescue with his plant catalogs. We get quite a few of them every year from several different ones. Okay, that should be good. And I got glue on the front, of course. Basically, oops, I don't want it to go all the way to that crease line there, because then you'll have trouble closing this. So I'm going to try to butt this up against there, which is good. That worked out pretty good actually, if I didn't mess it up. And then I'll just trim the excess. I just want to make sure I had enough. Got overage there. And this paper, this thin paper is very tricky because you can wipe off the ink, so I'm just going to dab it to get some of that glue off. I might switch my chair out for the next video because it's driving me bananas. Alright, try not to get too much glue on the front. If this slips on you, that's when you get the glue. And I'm down to the bottom, so it's usually very tacky. Doesn't want to glide. Just don't want any bubbles on my paper. That should do it. Do the same thing here. I'm going to get as close to that line as I can without, and leave just a little bit of gap. That way this can close like that. There we go. That worked out pretty good. Get rid of the sticky. Okay, so there's that. I'm letting that dry because I want to sew all the way around. I will trim that in a minute. Did get a little bit. Yeah, see, the green will come off. Alright, So I want to figure out the front here with this. So I'm going to pull my dies out and pick something, and I did put them all, most of them away, so it should be in a good spot for me to find things. And these are my pretty much decorative frames, a lot of which I got from Tina at Crafty Bean last year when she was doing a D-stash, so I got a great price on them. So I usually just go through. I really love these. This one here, but I think this one's going to be too big. I'll just pull some out. I do like this one too. Okay, we're not doing the flowers. I like the frame die. And this one. These I got all from Crafty Bean. This one's a cool one too. I really like this one. And my friend Rhoda Burks, I had an extra one of these. These were like $1 something on scrapbook.com. Gosh, last year sometime. And I ended up buying 2 and I didn't realize it. And so I sent her this one. She made some really cool things with it. So I don't know if that's going to work out or not. It's got a great shape. No, it's not. It's too tall. But I love that one. Do I want to go oval? Okay, that doesn't belong in there. I just got glue all over everything somewhere. Here's the oval one. This is the one I used for this one here, this purple poppy. This is the thing with having, yeah, no, it'll cut things off. I could cut that out like that. Nah, I might just cut around that circle. I just might. This is what takes the longest, is deciding, but I do like using die cuts. It gives it a shape, and it's just something that makes me happy. Everybody has their own style and what they like to do, and no. Okay. I'm sure there's nothing in here. No. I do like this one. This one might work. Yeah, the chair's got to go. Yeah, that would cut too much of it. I do like that though. That would frame it. I could frame it, but it's just not big enough. That doesn't belong in there either. I'll have trouble finding things. I like everything categorized, so that way I could find it. I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure this is from Crafty Bean. Yep. These are ovals. Yeah, they're not big enough. Yep. I like options. Alright, I'm going to try to work with what I have there, or just cut it out. I kind of want to keep as much as I can, and I just remembered I left something in the binder that I really love. which is this one here. Alright, so I'm going to pull that one out. These are, I love these shapes, but I think they're kind of like small. So I just don't want this whole video being about deciding. Kind of like that, but no. I need to put these on magnets. I'm slowly doing it. I just got so many things from Tina that I haven't had time. Okay, I'm going to decide from what I pulled out. I do like this stacked deco die. It just gives it a nice finish. That could work because I really want to keep most of the image there. Geez, I might go with that. And I kind of want a raggedy finish. Just trying to see. Wish it was a little bit bigger. I might go with that one because I really don't want it like lacy pretty, which these are. These would be, that one's not. This would be, I really love these. Alright, so I'm going to take those off the table. I do like this frame, this wood grain frame. That would be cool. Yep. That's it right there. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the wood grain frame. Yeah. Okay. I like it. Because this one just needs to be a little bit bigger. And, oh well, let me make sure this is going to fit on the front. That would be silly, and it's not. Alright, I think I'm back to this one. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one. Okay. It doesn't go with that. Alright, so I want to glue this to cardstock to give it stability. So I'll get that gluing, and then I'll have to figure out a closure. So it's this one here. I love this set. Okay, I need a scrap. That's kind of thin. Let me see if I have something thicker. It's brown earth. Thought I had some 110-pound pieces. That's pretty thick. That might work. This is like 110-pound. I'm thinking that will work totally. Alright, I'm using that. So I want it to have some depth to it. Alright. You get the real deal here today. Let's see if I need that piece. I'm trying not to squeak my chair. So I'm going to glue this onto here. Okay. I'll just glue that. I hope I got enough glue in this. So try to think ahead of your gluing and drying, and if you're sewing. I like to have things, I try to plan it out. And I've done enough of these to know, well, I should be able to do it with my eyes closed, but yeah, I don't like it when it gets down to the bottom there. It just don't, and plus it's cold too. It probably just, like, I don't want to come out of there. Okay. I know this is a little bit bigger than the paper, but try to center it. No, it's not centered. It's going to have to work. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. And then I need to figure out my closure, but I want to true this up first. Actually, I could sew all the way around this. I think it's pretty dry. Okay, let me see if I can trim this up without making a mess of it. Because I did not think I was going to sew today on camera, but I have to move a couple things. So let me see if I can cut this off. Yep, a little bit more. Okay. And I'm going to fold this. Maybe I should trim it with my scissors. It's still wet, so it's giving me like I don't like this. No. Okay, it doesn't like it. So I'm going to try to snip it with my scissors. Okay, it's not going to be straight, but I'll put some distress ink on it. Alright, so now would be the point where I sew all the way around, but I want to figure out my closure. Still, that's why it's nice if you can print on this before you fold it. Well, no, fold it. But I've still printed on this. If you know your size, cut it, and then you can score it, and then run it through your printer. Because it's larger than 8.5 by 11, you'll only have a spot like right there where you're not going to see the back side printed. But I always cover these anyway, so I just have to figure this out. Maybe I'll cut this out just to figure that out. It's still wet, but I think I'll be all right. Yeah, I'm going to cut it. Just so I can kind of see what, I think I want to go with more neutral seam binding for the closure, kind of like that. Just going to trim this extra so I can see where my placement of my die. I know I'm going to lose a little bit. And I need some tape. Let's see. Oops. Okay. Let's try to split the difference a little bit. Excuse me. Go up a little bit. Well, I hear a pretty bird outside. I think my feeders need more food. The sun's trying to peek out. All right, let me go ahead and cut this out. And put this at an angle. It just helps with everything. And because this is 110 pound and it's wet, I'm going to go back through a second time. I never have any problem with this dye, but that looks pretty good. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Carefully take this off so I don't rip my paper, and I did a little bit. I should have got some new tape. It's okay. I like that. I might have to distress it a little bit. Yeah, took my ink off my paper. It's okay. Just going to hit this edge. I like that this is thick now. You girls are wearing off on me with the distressing. Okay, so there's that. So that's going to go on the front. Which do we want? The front. The front. This will be the front here. And I don't think I want to lace this one up. Let me just see if I want lace or not. Oh wait. I have creamy beige, if I can find it. No, that's not it. Let's see it. I don't think this will give it like a vintage vibe. I kind of like that. So I think I'm going to glue that on. Yeah, I'm going to go the whole way. Okay, let me grab my fabric scissors. I need to find another glue stick because that's not going to cut it. Yay, I got a new one. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to put this cream color lace on there. I really love that. So I have some extra, but that's okay. And then I need a piece for the back as well. And I'm only covering up to that line, so when I glue, so this will be a several part video because I won't be able to get everything done today. I lost my, here we go. Haven't had a chance to use this color yet, so that's very cool. Alright, so I'm just going to glue this down with glue stick, get that drying because I want to sew all the way around. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a paper big enough to cover that. And I think I'm going to go like this, so I only get glue where I want it. I think that's what I was trying to, my brain was trying to do. So I'm just going to go like this and just glue this and lay my lace down. This is how I made this one here. Oops, getting a little crazy. And I want glue in the spine. And I'm using the glue stick because I'm going to sew this and I don't want the 3-in-1 to gum up my needle. So there's that. The rough side should be the top side, so I'm just going to lay this down. I'll be able to move it a little bit. Just want to keep it away from the spine. I'm going to add extra lace anyways. Just wants to curl up on me. Looking for my little thing. Where'd it go? Oh. And with the lace, I get it set first in place. Then I'm very aggressive. I know this is probably loud, but you want it good contact with that paper. And the glue underneath will dry. It'll dry pretty quickly. I'm just going to trim off that excess so it's not pulling. I'll just give it a rough trim. And then I'll trim it really close after I sew it. Okay, so I'm going to do the back the same way. Just trying to find some papers I can use. Do that there. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay, the sun is coming out today. So you can kind of plan ahead on these, what you want, and have things dried. I'm just showing you from beginning to end. And it was a viewer request by Angela at Dogwood Paper Arts. And I want to mention, if you go over and check her channel, she has been making this coffee and chocolate journal. It is stunning, stunning. I will put her YouTube in the description and go check it out. If you see this journal, it's just stunning. Okay, get rid of that. Okay, I didn't cut my piece, but that's okay. That's the rough side. So I'm going to try to, see that's drying already. I would like it a lot drier before I sew on it, but it's a lot easier if you cut your pieces beforehand. It's okay. Just want to get rid of some of the sticky. Okay. Protect my new glue stick. All right. All right, I'm almost at an hour, so I probably will let this dry, and then I'll have my sewing machine ready and show you how I sew all the way around. Just want to give this a rough trim. It's just so much better if you can let it dry in between. And then I'll be able to pull out my my trim and see for closure. I'm just going to use the seam binding from My Scrap Cabin. I got quite an assortment from her, so that'll be the cover. I'll just let that dry. And I will sew this before I glue this together. I'll sew right over the top of here. Actually, I'll stop and start in the spine so you don't see my stop and start, but I need to have my, I kind of want to have my seam binding on. I did one tiny little booklet. I don't know where that is. Where, oh, I thought it was right here, where the seam binding, oh, it's right here. This little booklet. No, I didn't put seam binding on that. I did one where I had the seam binding and I let it go all the way in here. I wouldn't do that. I would stop and start the seam binding here and here because it puts too much bulk in the spine. So I learned something on that one. So I'm going to let this dry. I'll end the video here, so there'll be a part 2. I'll just continue on today and do a part 2. That way I can share the process. So, so just look out for my links below of the channels. I try to share everybody. I like that. I really like that. So that's going to be the cover. Let me just fold this up. This is pretty thin. Doesn't matter if the spine is thin. You can glue 2 pages together. I could have done that. And like I could have, where's my paper? I could have glued that on the inside there all the way across and folded it. That would have been okay because this paper is really thin. That's what I like about this thin paper. But yeah. So let's see. There we go. So it'll be like that, and this on the front. So that's really cool. I like that. And I'll probably do corners. I'll have to pull that die out too, the little corners. And I'm probably going to do the corners in black. I'm not really sure. I've never really worked with black, so we'll see. We'll have to see what looks good. I'll cut some out and have them all ready, or I'll cut them on camera. So that's the start of my mushroom, and this was a kit from my daughter Heather at WoodlandSilver. And okay, I'll be back for part 2. Bye.